Improviseren, zou ik zeggen.
YouTube zegt dat we live zijn. Ja, klopt. Denk ik. Opname loopt. Ja, cheers.
Ja, proost jongen.
Welkom back.
En onze Belgische gast.
Ja, en that's for why we have nice. Hoe gaat het in our café?
Ja.
Huh? Product placement, zeggen ze dan. Welcome back to another season of HANA Café the Netherlands, the podcast, where we bring you insightful discussions and unravel the complex world of SAP with specialist guests from across the industry. And we are thrilled to kick off our 9th season, Jan. 9th season. Oh. What happened? What do you have?
Sorry.
Zo, daar is die. Don't push the buttons anymore. Our 9th season with an exciting topic that's rapidly changing the landscape of business operations. SAP Build Process Automation. Yeah. Yay! Today's guest is Jana de Klerk, an SAP hyper-automation expert who is dedicated to boosting efficiency at the value chain. She joined in 2015 and is deeply involved with Sapiens, the Belgian SAP user group, as a technology focus lead. Jana is recognized both for her contributions to significant conferences like the SAP Insight Track in Belgium and her active participation in the growing SAP community. Her deep insights from IT business management, earned at the Erasmus College Brussels, and professional experiences, including speaking at SAP TechEd, have made her a leading voice in SAP Build Process Automation. We'll explore her professional journey plus a dash of personal aspects, like her current home renovation project. So, a mix of topics today. So tune in for a uniquely insightful episode filled with automation, growth and live insights. Welcome to HANA Café the Netherlands.
HANA Café Nederland is een podcast met nieuws vanuit de SAP-wereld. In het café spreken de gasten en stamgasten over ontwikkelingen, innovaties, events of praten ze gewoon weer eventjes bij. Laten we snel naar binnen gaan.
And if you have any questions, please let us know in the chat. Then we can ask the question to Jana and then hopefully Jana can answer the question. Yeah. And somehow, Jan, my machine is lost in operation. I don't like it. But welcome, Jana.
Thank you.
In our HANA Café in the Netherlands. And we are going to talk about process automation.
Yes.
So, what do you do with process automation?
Automate.
Yeah.
I do a lot of projects in the process. Every company has its own processes, and some of them can be automated, obviously. And that's where we come into place to actually think about how the process starts, how can we do it better, and automate it at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
But it's not just automation. It's hyper automation.
It's if you want to call it hyper automation, sure thing. But it's automating, yeah.
Well, that's what the business area has been called, right? At the moment.
True.
So what maybe a question to the both of you, because you're doing a fellowship on automation in SAP. But guys, what is this hyper thing doing in terms of automation? Why is it called hyper automation?
It's called hyper automation at the value chain.
I hear more customers talk about hyper automation.
Yeah. So and at SAP we call it enterprise automation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
the combination of integration and Signavio together with build process automation.
Very
so
good.
it's like the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I still like that the picture of the circle because it's mainly true.
Yeah, exactly. So with Signavio you can do some mining, and then get all the insights can you import them into process automation. But also you need to make sure that everything is integrated. But that's your part, integration suite. Yeah,
and of course everything AI infused.
Yeah, that's what we have to say since January 1st this year, right?
There is actually some kind of AI embedded in SAP Build Process Automation because we can see that the automations gets faster every time you run them. If you don't change them, they actually get faster after a certain time of use. It actually gets faster every time. In the beginning, it's like 5 seconds for one automation, and then after a month of 3, we can see that's evolved to 1 second.
Oh, that's funny that you say this, because they were saying that process automation is supposed to be taking over tasks from humans, right?
Yeah.
And if human does a task, the first time they do it, it's often very slow as well. And then gradually it's getting faster as well.
Yeah,
So
but
it's mimicking the employee in that sense as well.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah.
It's like
That's really cool.
a tiny little robot doing your job.
Yeah. That's also what you hear at a lot of presentations about AI or business AI. Then think of business AI as your intern, and you need to train your intern, and then they get faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's get back to the value chain, because there are a lot of SAP consulting companies. You are from Belgium.
Yeah.
The value chain is from Belgium, and a lot of SAP consulting companies focus on the SAP business at their customers.
Yeah.
But you are at the value chain, but then also you are at the hyper chain, and you're just focusing on the specific automation of processes.
So we have the unit hyper chain that's actually specific for automations, hyper chain, hyper automating, and we actually have a functional consultant who get into the process, and then we start thinking about how to automate things. So we're a mix of technical and functional consultants at the same time, doing actually only automations at this moment.
Yeah.
So
And how big is the group?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, not that big, but
No, but you're focusing on just that, and
only this.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's a full-time job of automations.
And that's really nice, because you have a lot of B2B also partners, which is good, because we are fanboys of B2B, Jan, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And but then it's really broad.
Yeah.
On integration, on app development, or on analytics. But then the 6 of you just automation.
Yeah.
Can you explain us and our listeners or our viewers, how does a automation project look like? Do you bring a developer? What?
Yeah, for us it's a mix of mostly one functional and one developer, because that's sufficient enough. We have the functional consultant, of course, who does the functional job, and he tries to gather all the information, the process. For example, sales orders or invoice solutions. We see at the process, he looks it up, like this, and I try to fit it into an automation. So, but that's, we work together always, because he looks into the API calls, he knows the process, I don't know the process that good, and that way we work together always.
And how is the collaboration with the customer or the end user? How is
mostly I'm more working from home, because most of the projects for me are like at the other side of the country, and the functional consultant, but it's literally like 200 kilometers.
Yeah, that's a bigger country than the Netherlands.
No. And one of my functional consultants, he's mostly in contact with everyone, with the business users, trying to get the information, how we can evolve the product also.
And this functional consultant is also part of the team.
Yeah.
Right. So he's identifying
three developers, and the other ones are we have a project manager and functional consultant.
So he's in charge of basically identifying the use cases.
Yeah. He identifies, and a lot. We noticed that a lot of business people also come to us. But perhaps you can do this also, because it takes a lot of time. Yeah, and then sometimes you have to see where it's sufficient to go automate this, because if something takes up 20 days to create an automation for something you should do, you can do, or you do it in 5 minutes every day, you shouldn't perhaps not create an automation for that. But
that's also the think about the business case.
The business case itself is also very important.
Yeah. Okay. And what can you also enlighten us a little bit on what kind of projects that you run for your customers with automations?
Yeah, for now we actually created 3 solutions, and I've been busy with those 3 solutions for the last year and a half. And for example, the invoice solution, we have an automation that runs Outlook. It monitors Outlook at the full time. And per invoice that has been found, per attachment, we launch a workflow, and then we do a lot of checks in SAP. And if all checks are fine, which is mostly master data related, we go to SAP and park an invoice, or we create a sales order, for example. But it's always a bit the same concept at this moment, because you have Outlook at the one side, and on the other side you have an OCR tool, of course, and then doing a lot of checks in SAP and posting something in the end in SAP itself.
And for what I learned is that process automation comes with OCR tools, right? With the possibility to basically
the document information extraction, to read PDF documents.
To take those invoices in all shapes and sizes and turns it into something that's structured.
Yeah, Yeah, so we receive a lot of structured data type with all the data from the PDF just filled in for us and ready to use, ready to consume.
So even your use case are AI infused.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
AI. We should have a counter on how many times you mention AI. That would be great to have that then also on screen.
We'll get a prize.
Yeah, really. And maybe we can send it to Christian then. But you mentioned 3 solutions. Is 3 solutions for one customer or for multiple customers?
Multiple customers. A lot of customers are
they have the same scenario.
Yeah, it's mostly the same scenario, and then depending on the customer, we still have some change requests, of course, because you have the basic solution, so it's like a standard solution, but every customer has its own features, and they want an approval flow. They don't want an approval flow, so it's always a bit different everywhere.
Yeah. And I just read also that you brought a new solution to the store.
Yeah.
So you actually have a service or a product in the store.
Yeah, I think all 3 of them are in the store. Yeah, I think all 3 of them are in the store.
I want to know more about it. So what solutions do you have in the store?
The invoice posting solution. So that's the one about invoices receiving and then parking them immediately in SAP. And then we have the sales order creations and purchase order confirmations.
Okay, but so you built them for a customer and then eventually got to productize them?
And sometimes it's the other way around. We already think about the layer, the solution itself, and we have to sell it, of course, also. You can build a solution, but if nobody's interested in it,
that would be a waste of time.
Exactly.
But these sound like very commodity type of solutions, right?
Yeah. It's more generic because all the customers have invoices they have to pay. Exactly. And sales orders create or purchase order confirmations. So it's something you can go to a lot of customers with.
And
so
how does
maybe a question to you, Twan?
Yes, Jan.
Because you're doing this fellowship with Build Process Automation.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because it's important and relevant.
We have a guest.
So just a question. Because we have this business accelerator hub.
Yeah.
In which we post all this important content and stuff. And most of the times what we do is we take these very generic type of processes and put content in the business accelerator hub for these kind of purposes.
Yeah.
Well, I would say things like processing invoices and stuff belong there.
Okay, let's not talk about the SAP stores, the multiple SAP stores that we have. Maybe we should have an episode on that as well. But of course, there is the Business Accelerator Hub. But there is also within Process Automation, within SAP Build, there is also a store. And I think your solutions go in that store.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh,
don't know the name exactly.
Okay, because I wanted to ask, what if a customer is interested? How does this work?
They
just click
the SAP store. No, we still have to implement it.
Okay.
So it's still because the workflow, it's way too complex to do this one in an SAP build process. Exactly. So it's like a workflow that we created. I created it in the business application studio. So I still have to deploy everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like click and it's purchased and let's ready to use it. That's not a possibility yet. No.
Okay, but so you create it in the business application studio, and then you deploy it to the B2B environment from the customer that also is interested in that solution.
Yeah. With the necessary changes if needed.
Yeah, and then it's the store is just to highlight that you have the solution, and then the customer contacts you, and then
because it is a solution, and it's ready to import, but.
Yeah, and I think what you are referring to also in the Business Accelerator Hub is that you have ready to go workflows with all the process steps in it, and then you can import it and then tune it to as you like it.
That's the way usually that content is being used, right? So most customers, they take it from the Business Accelerator Hub, they change it wherever that's necessary, and then they deploy it.
Yeah. But you have a quick start because of all the artifacts that are already in, the forms are in, the data types are in. Yeah.
For our solutions, it was not possible yet because there is not a sufficient enough amount of activities ready to use to create a process. So it's not possible yet, just technically not possible at this moment.
Right. Yeah. So that brings us a bit to the differences between process automation and workflow, because you've been doing or holding a speech even, I think, on the migration from workflow to process automation.
There's also an excellent blog on the SAP community from Jana.
There you go. Maybe it should be
it's
reference to the show notes.
Thank you.
I will put it in that.
Because I did a migration like for the invoice solution from the older workflow management and IRPA going to SBPA, so SAP Build Process Automation, and there are certainly some differences because SAP Build Process Automation is like newer, and it still doesn't have all the capabilities of IRPA and workflow management. At this moment, we can see that SAP Build Process Automation has more functionalities, but missing some at the same time. For example, the environments, they're still missing. I'm waiting for it. I know it will be released soon, but these are missing functionalities, really. And then if we talk about the workflow management, you have workflow created in the Business Application Studio where you can create SAP UI5 tasks, for example, and you have a lot more possibilities. It's also more of a pro-code environment than it is in Build Process Automation. I can create scripts, I can do whatever I want, and I can do that yet in Build Process Automation. I have a business process. I'm still waiting for the message event, for example, and that are some key features.
Yeah, I've seen some UI5 integration with Build Process Automation,
it's new.
And it's. I think we have to wait a little bit before we bring it to the customer. It wasn't not a really nice user-friendly integration, but it would be great because now the current form editor from Process Automation is basic.
Yeah, it's really
it's
basic.
like Notepad.
For me it's not usable.
No.
You can do a lot more with an SAP UI5 task, but there you come into the pro-coder environment, of course. Yeah. So that's for me, easy to use, but not for everyone.
Yeah, so hopefully then also because if you look at Build Apps, there is also a form editor and that has more features, like colors, and or images,
and you can edit the CSS the style sheets. You can edit everything, so it's
you can brand the forms.
Exactly. It's still the same drag and drop functionality and the ease of use, but a lot more of functionalities in it. Hey,
here comes the answer. It's on the roadmap.
So
it's coming.
That's basically, that's basically asking for a blend of the two, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Build apps and build process automation.
So, a blend from the no-code, low-code form editor, like from Build Apps, and then integrate with process automation, but also, of course, an integration with like the UI5 forms for the pro-code environment, because there you can do more.
Build code.
More flexibility.
So build code, build apps should all be infused into, just like AI.
Fusion development teams.
Yeah.
AI.
We should really have a counter.
Yeah, exactly. That's maybe you can create something with IoT. And I don't know with colors.
Hey, can we just write an app about it? Build apps to count.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, next time. Yeah. Oh, we have to invite you next time as well. Then, yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the real world from our customers, where you implement those kind of scenarios. Just for me to understand, I'm coming from an ABAP background, really long time ago. I have a lot of gray hair, so that's a really long time ago. But then you know that you have functional specifications, technical specifications, or maybe even today you work in sprints. But it takes some time to really do a pro-code development before you deliver it to the end user. How is this in the automation world?
Yeah, you have the activities in Build Process Automation, so it's like a ready-to-use SDK. So you don't have to do a lot of coding at the same time, but it depends. You still have the pro-code mindset. You have a try-catch, for example. That's very important, of course, for us. So you can actually create automations with the ease of just drag and drop. If you have the pro-code mindset, you still know, it's try-catch. Okay, I have to initiate my variables. I can create a script. Now I have to do a web service call, for example. And you can create an automation real quick.
Yeah.
Because of the use of the SDKs, it's like ready to use. You can use DRE by SDK, SuccessFactors. We have SDKs for Word, for Outlook Online, PowerPoint. So there is a lot of content ready to use. So that speeds up the development, for sure.
Yeah. So, and is it possible to say how many days or how many months, how many years you work on an automation project for a customer? Is it?
Yeah,
hopefully not years, but
it really depends.
That's a consultancy answer.
But I actually set up the base solution, so like the Happy Flow one, really quick going from Outlook to the OCR tool that we use. We actually use MetaMaze. We don't use the document information extraction, but we're partnered up with MetaMaze for our OCR. So that one, together with the checks, but real basic. And the posts, I think I set it up in 5 days, but it's really basic. It's not quick.
That's fast.
Yeah, but it's still not the then you have to do the error handling, of course, and you have to expand the whole solution because some basic checks don't cover up yet. So then it starts, of course, but the whole base in which you can expand everything, 5-6 days.
That's really fast.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I can still remember that we're doing a project with the Run Live truck or with the Mobile Innovation Lab. Not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
Either one.
one
That
one
was
of
that was 5
the lab
days.
is the success of the
Yeah,
truck.
but
Yeah.
it also comes with the experience I have already. So it's like
So we didn't have much, although we did have a couple of experts on board.
Yeah.
But it was 5 days, but based on the all tooling.
Mm.
So
Yeah, but it was
that-
not focusing on automation, but it was more focusing on SAP Cloud Platform those days. So we had a case that we were going to work on in 5 days, but then we deliver a prototype.
Mm.
But you deliver the end product within 5 days and have to extend the product later. Yeah.
But that's also because the Outlook monitoring automation, it's ready to use now for me. I created it once. I had to do a lot of things. Yeah,
You have the
fixing.
experience now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that automation is already ready to use, to copy paste and transform it to another one. With some, if you think about it, at the moment you start creating that, knowing that you will have to use this one also for other solutions, you start developing slightly different.
Yeah.
why have you chosen to use Maze instead of MetaMaze instead of document information extraction?
At that time, document information extraction was just not sufficient enough.
Right. When
So-
was that?
Last year, 1
Okay.
year and a half ago. So, and I must say the extraction results from between MetaMaze and document information extraction, I think one of my colleagues did a comparison between the two, and now it's getting closer. But at that point, MetaMaze was really better.
Maybe I can tempt you to try it again. I mean, there's now
I can.
like a premium edition available for
I
document
saw
information
that
extraction.
that's AI.
Based on large language models, so I'm trying to avoid the word AI.
No, we
It's
saw,
not a
we
word, it's
saw
two
that,
letters.
I
we
still
saw
said
that
it, didn't I?
a newer version was coming, and it was on the roadmap, but I haven't had the time yet to compare it again.
Yeah, it's going to be slightly more expensive, but it does an amazing job. Seriously. Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. You're trying to sell something. No, really good sales. Oh, no, pre-sales. What? Okay. Let's go back then into the real world, to the customer world, which is also about pricing, I know. But so say a customer is interested in automating some of the steps in the process. What does the customer need to have in place before you can actually start?
Before we can start, before it can run the automation, you have the virtual machine, of course, because at this moment you have the process automation and you have the desktop agents. So it's still an on-premise component that's within your network, behind the firewalls, placed on a virtual machine, and that one actually needs to have the access for doing the same job as a person would do it.
Yeah.
If you have to move files from directory to directory, if you want to access SharePoint. So this computer also needs to have access to SharePoint.
It's mimicking an end
It's
user.
really mimicking. So that's why we also need the same rights as doing this. As if someone would be doing the same job.
Yeah.
So that's a very important one. I think most important one, and of course BTP and the services. But
And on BTP you create then the automation.
we have the SAP Build Process Automation service.
Yeah.
That comes, and then we use mostly WorkZone, so we can embed Task Center in it, and then you have a nice view of all tasks, eventually together with other tasks and other inboxes.
Yeah. Is it that when you visit customers, they already have BTP in place, or?
Some of them do, and some of them don't.
Yeah. So if they don't have, then they also need to make sure that it's connected to their backend system, because that's where the process is running.
Yeah, the process is running, but that's one of the nice things of process automation. We also have a BAPI SDK, so we can actually connect with older systems, ACC systems, using BAPIs instead of API calls. So that's also depending on the case, and of course the system of the client, of the customer. That's what kind of going to the backend there is.
Yeah, but that's nice, because it's one of the when you talk about SAP BTP, or when I talk about BTP, then you all say, hey, it's a side-by-side extension, and of course we always draw SAP S/4HANA on the left side and BTP on the right side, but it doesn't need to be S/4HANA. It can also be ECC. It's just the example.
Connect with everything. And when using BAPIs, of course there is the remote function called. So you have to have the SAP GUI installed on the virtual machine also, because it's the embedded libraries are needed. But once you have that in place, we can actually connect to older systems also.
Yeah.
I think even that's where the real value exists. Not only to have applications in S4, but for instance, like what you said already, a mashup between inboxes in Outlook and bringing that data, extracting it through what? Twan?
Sorry, I was checking the...
We're extracting the data from invoices in Outlook through... What? AI.
I don't want to see it anymore.
and then pushing it into S4. So the more systems and applications you mesh up, I think the more efficiency you will gain.
Yeah, because if you want to do your job, you also use Outlook, and you also use Teams, and you also use Word, and you also use Excel. So it's actually, once again, mimicking the user. And we have to have connect with all of the systems, all of the tools that the user also needs to do their job. And most of them, it's a lot of Microsoft things.
So mimicking an end user, it's when you have gray hair, I have gray hair. I started thinking of what was the transaction SM27 batch input maps. You still remember them?
Yeah.
But that's also when you are trying to mimic an
but that's different, right? Batch input maps is one way. So you can only push stuff into ECC or SAP or S4. I think this still exists, by the way.
No, but now you have still an option to do screen scraping also.
Exactly.
With
I tend not to use that.
No?
Nope.
Why?
It's unstable.
Oh. No.
Yeah, if your button changes like 2 centimeters to the left, I can't find the button, so it's completely crashes. And if you click on at the same time when it's doing its process automation, and you click, it stops.
Yeah.
So for me, I tend to not use it. I actually never created a clickbot.
Okay, but that's nice because that's the same difficulties that you then experience with that as I experienced when I was an ABAP developer, and the lazy ABAP developers in those days said just create a batch input map and then transform it into an ABAP program and then you go. But then if SAP comes with an upgrade, the whole program doesn't work anymore because the button is gone or there's an extra screen or extra fields or less fields.
Plus, SAP does things asynchronously, so you get funny race conditions that you didn't get during development and stuff. So the challenges are still the same. What I did notice about, and this is what I like about the SAP process automation tools, is that there's a possibility to fall back to APIs as well. Yeah. And I think if you look at competitors of SAP and how they do process automation, purely through screens and stuff, and through scraping and through inputting, compared to the bots that you built with SAP process automation, which are basically built on both, the screen scraping and maybe screen entry, but also based on APIs. That makes the bots so much more stable.
Much more stable, of course. That's why I also tend to use now the Outlook Online. There is an online SDK now, and instead of using the application Outlook, which is not always that stable, the Outlook application itself, but we have the APIs now. So I can actually use the SDK of online. It's Microsoft Graph embedded. So it uses the APIs to call Outlook things. That's also one step into stability. Again.
Important.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you have quite some experience now with the tools that SAP is offering, and also you had with the IRPA, the tools before that.
Tools.
So, if you could wish for anything that you want to make your life as a developer easier, what would that be?
My life as a developer easy. I think it's
AI.
AI, ting ting. I actually saw some things about Joule. Joule that's going to create some workflows, but I don't know if it will be easier to use, because I think there will be a learning curve to how to use Joule. And whilst learning how to use Joule, perhaps I can create it myself at the same time, faster, and not having to type all the small differences.
Yeah, the results are really dependent on the prompt that you enter.
Exactly. So you have to learn how to generate something with Joule.
Joule is one of the secrets, of course. It's announced very loudly at SAP, and we still have to see how it's going to be implemented. But it's also on the process automation, and you can say, I want to have a process, and then it generates a process. And of course, we have to see how that is going to work in the real life.
Curious.
but okay, forget about AI. What
more trends? More trends. I'm keen to hear about more trends in this area. You're one of the topic leads, both at Sapiens as well as Tech Heads and stuff. So there's this, and you're on top of course, this topic itself.
Yeah.
Is AI the only trend? What can we expect in the domain of hyper automation?
I think I have to look at Twan because I don't know what's coming else. But besides AI, I don't know if there are a lot of changes coming at this moment.
Yeah, so some of the changes that we already discussed, so to improve the current tools, but that's on the roadmap. But what's more, the question was more from, okay, you have experience. What would you to have SAP put on the roadmap?
Embedded pro codes. For me, I'm still a pro coder, and from the heart, that's how everything started for me. And sometimes I'm a bit limited. We can't use JavaScript libraries, even though we have JavaScript in place and we create a lot of custom scripts, but we can't use some other libraries that have been created already. So, for example, I actually had nights spent on how to round up in JavaScript because it was totally fucked up. Rounding some numbers, amounts, if you tried it at, I think, comma 555, using one function was like 5.6, the other one was 5.5. So really, and I had to create my own function, but it was already in place in a library and I couldn't use it.
Yeah. JavaScript can be
you have some nice presentations in the past.
Reminds me of a few years ago.
And for example, the business process, you can't embed a custom script in a business process. For me, that's I'm too limited at some points.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where SAP Build is going to in what kind of direction, because I know that SAP really wants, or we as SAP, I'm not a developer, so, but that they really want to focus on being in a low-code, no-code environment, and that's a difficulty. For example, if you compare, I'm not sure if you have experience with Mendix. No, but if you go like Mendix, then they also offer the opportunity to open up the hood and then go in the code.
Be so nice, because sometimes you just want a small difference, and as a coder, I just know where to look and just quickly change it. But
but the downside.
This is just one line of code, and I can't put it in there. That kind of thing.
But is it one line of code? It starts with the one line of code, and then it gets multiple line of code, and then you have the difficulty if you are running in production and there is an issue. Is it in the backend? Is it somewhere in BTP? Is it somewhere at Mendix? Is it somewhere here? That's a difficulty to find then where the error lives.
Yeah, but that is also like now for the solutions. Where is the error? Is it in the workflow created in Boss? Is it in one of the automations? In which automation exactly? So and sometimes it's like a bug in Microsoft. Then you have to look real bad. I think Excel stopped working. Okay, you have to reboot everything. So
that's difficult. Okay, similar.
You know where I hope that process automation would eventually go to, and maybe it's far in the future. But yesterday we've been looking into events, business events, right? And at the user group meeting.
With Event Mesh.
Of Event Mesh. What if in the future you would have like a video camera watching over your shoulder while you unpack stuff? And when you unpack stuff and it sees what kind of box it is, that it immediately marks it off your pick list, for instance. That sort of thing, or your delivery advice or something like that. Or in retail, that as soon as you pick something from the shelf, that is an event being created, that process automation is being invoked.
But you have these smart glasses in warehousing. That's already in place. But I'm not sure if that's the same example.
Things like video processing and stuff. Like taking not process automations that's being started based on informational structured businessy type of events, but just events that are happening in real time.
It recognizes the event and then starts the event.
Like a camera that recognizes a face, it should recognize an action.
When we were talking about hyper automation,
it's a song,
hyper
right?
automation.
I think
I was hoping that we would go into that direction.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps in the future, but at this moment, I don't think it's even possible yet. I don't know.
I think last week there was a YouTube webinar by Stefan Sluchter about enterprise automation. And I think they're going to plan more. I can also put it in the show notes, the replay of that, and there will be more episodes on that, on what is enterprise automation at SAP. I think that's really interesting because also the TechEd session, I think that was the best visited TechEd session last year. Enterprise automation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but today we are talking about automations.
Okay. So back to automation then.
Yeah.
Can you share one of your most fun or best experiences or most efficient kind of what's the thing that you look back on and like this is the most fun or this has been the most efficient process or this is the best worked out thing that I've ever built before? This is the most valuable customers or just the coolest thing.
What you're most proud of.
Yeah, the invoice solution.
The invoice solution.
Yeah, definitely, because if you should see what kind of checks are built in the company code, we have to look up the business partner. Is the business partner even in the company code? Does it all fit up? But the amount of checks that are in place, in the end it started off small, but in the end it was like, what did we just create?
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier, and then the process in basic, so the happy flow is a few steps, but you created so many what if scenarios in your process.
But that's also the reality. What if the business partner has been blocked for payments? Yeah, you have to notify the users. Hey, this one won't pass because it's blocked. The open amount. You don't want to have an invoice for 1 million euros if you only have an open amount of 100,000 euros. So it's you will notify them on, hey, there's something wrong about this one, and you don't want an invoice parked in SAP with some faulty data.
Yeah.
So that's why the amount of checks is like big.
Huge. Yeah, but what happens if you do not build this in, these what if checks? What happens to the automation? So say you just implement a happy flow for a customer, and then
it parks an invoice. You still have to run the payments run itself. That's still a manual job. So we don't immediately pay everything. I don't want to risk that even. But that's so it's immediately parked for invoice. For paying.
So then an individual needs to check that.
Yeah.
And then now if you have all you take
them.
into account all those exceptions, then you notify, but then they don't have to search for the issue because you already found the issue.
We already found it. We stop it because if the business partner has been created, we want you to create the business partner and check up the IBAN, for example. We are not going to do that, but it's still a manual step. Yeah. And that way we still have the users who are still in control of everything.
I think we should implement this everywhere within SAP, because if you do something in SAP and you get an error message, it's probably not the message is not guiding you into the real direction.
Perhaps Jules can help us. No?
Yeah, hopefully.
AI.
But apparently, business rules also still a big thing.
Like within process automation, this
absolutely. If an invoice is exceeding a certain amount,
do you use the business rules? Do you reuse
I use them a lot. I'm not now changing from business rules to decision rules, because decision rules are actually easier to use than the older business rules. But I always create a new project for it, because that way I can give out access to the business users. You can access this project, but don't touch my code. Code is in another project. So I still use the decision rules, but separated.
And what makes the decision rules more user-friendly to use?
You don't have to click 20,000 times on activate.
So the decision rules. It's a different system, right?
You have in the workflow management you have the business rules, and there is a separate application. And in that one, you have to activate the data object, then you have to activate the rules, then the rules service, then the table, and you have to activate everything once again. And if you actually deploy it, and then you have to do some changes, you still have to activate everything once again. So it's like clicking 20,000 times on activate. There is no activate all button.
So this is feedback for Twan and the team.
No, they have the decision rules now.
No, the decision rules from process automation.
It's like activate, deploy, there it goes.
That's the old environment.
We don't want to use business rules anymore.
Okay. And then do you use that as a service then, the decision rules, or is it?
Yeah, I use the APIs to address to my decision rules and make use of them. So because I separated it in another project, I can't directly access them.
I think that's really powerful that you have your decision rules as a service available to all kind of other applications.
Yeah,
as well.
because I also use them in the workflow that has been created in the Business Application Studio, but I also use them in my automations. So it's more useful as a service instead of just embedding them.
Okay.
HANA Café Nederland met Jan Penninkhof en Twan van den Broek.
So,
Jana.
Jan en Jana. Ja. Oké.
Dat gaat je een HR-ticket opleveren, Twan.
Gelukkig is dat in Nederlands. Hey, Jana. So maybe for the listeners to our podcast or the viewers to the podcast, and they say, hey, I'm really interested, but I have no experience on the automation part. What is your suggestion to what is the first step to get
The learning journey.
the learning journey?
Yeah, I actually think that the learning journey is really basic enough to get started with all of the things of SAP Build. So not only the Build Process Automation, but also Build Apps and the Build Work Zone. That's also in place in that same learning journey. But for me, that's like the basic. You can start off and do a lot of things already and see how everything looks like or can go.
Yeah.
But this is for a consultant that wants to get to know the tools, right?
Yeah, that was the question.
Okay, so maybe
If you want to
maybe
be like Jana, what do you have to do? Go to the learning
Just
journey.
just start and try clicking on everything and
Yeah, but then the learning journey
try
is
to find the DNA and copy it.
that's maybe in the future, right?
But the same question is for business folks, and that's what I'm really struggling with.
I was not ready with my question, but
Oh, sorry, Twan. I'm still going to continue.
I can switch you off. No, but hold your question.
Okay,
Because
okay.
the learning journey is really good and powerful because you have step-by-step approach on what to do and how to learn. But then you also need an environment.
Yeah.
And what is the environment that you can use for your learning journeys?
Yeah, the SAP Build Process Automation, but I think there is a free trial account also. So
it works on the trial account.
Yeah, it works on trial accounts.
Yeah.
That's where I started at the very beginning.
But that's powerful because the trial account is available to all of us.
Yeah.
For no cost.
I
no
actually went to schools already and gave there a start hands-on experience with SAP Build Process Automation, and they activated their trial account with their school email address even.
Yeah.
And they started off with process automation. Within a few hours, they were able to do some things in process automation.
So, before you
So
continue with your question, get your trial account and go to learning journeys from SAP.
Yeah.
And learn about business process automation.
You're looking very strict at me, Twan.
So now you can ask your question. Jan.
Very directive. Okay, now same question, but now for business users. Like, this is something I really struggle with. So we have this process automation, and we know the capabilities, we know the screen scraping, the decision
rules,
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so but still, what I find is that a lot of the companies that we usually go to, they are unaware of the fact that we can basically do this. That they're unaware of the potential inefficiencies that they have in their companies that we can so easily solve.
Yeah.
So how do you go out there and evangelize this whole?
That's where the pre-sales comes into place, and it's actually for us it's a hyper automation study day. That we go to the customer and we just go around all the processes, and then you can identify the use cases.
Just one customer, or do you have like little classes?
Sorry?
Do you have groups of customers coming to you, or?
No, I don't think that's we go to them.
Right.
Yeah, yes, it's one customer, and then you do the
then we go to them,
inventory.
and then we do the because you have the all the teams, AP team, you have the sales team, and there we have the meetings with.
So spreading the word is important.
But then still, you need your customer to be ready to have such conversation, right?
Yeah. Not everyone is already open for automation.
Yeah, I'm really looking for the topic starters. How do you start this topic with a customer?
I think automation is in place everywhere, and if you create some kind of awareness, beginning awareness, hey, we can solve this problem within. We have a solution, so the solution is a start already.
Yeah.
And then it comes into more solutions, and we want a use case, and we have this is a pain in the ass process. What can we do? and then the ball goes rolling.
Yeah,
You
and
can ask ChatGPT for topic starters.
I think the invoice solution, the sales order, and the purchase confirmations, that's
I
already a start.
I think it
because-
makes sense.
Yeah,
And also to talk about inefficiencies, to talk about manual work.
yeah.
A lot
and
of
error
repetitive
proneness.
tasks.
The repetitive
repetitive
tasks, but
tasks.
also error proneness. You don't the bot doesn't misclick.
Mhm.
It's it always does the same thing.
Yeah.
It can't click on the wrong button. It can't fill in something wrong because if you annotated the documents correctly and you confirmed that this is the data, this is data.
Then
And
you do
there
not
will
make a typing mistake or anything.
Exactly. No added zeros. No change between a 0 or an O because fraudulous things. The bot doesn't do that.
I think it's time, Jan.
For?
This is the time.
De
This is
moeilijke
Jan.
vraag van Jan.
Uh-oh.
Twan, I just asked my most difficult question. Okay, another very difficult another very difficult question. We were talking about home renovation just now.
Silence.
How is home automation, how is home improvement, how is it connected to hyper automation?
It's actually thinking about how you can build everything. So also an automation, it's building blocks. It's like Lego. I can take this part, this part, this part. It's like Lego.
Uh-huh.
But my home is the same thing. I know this is wrong. I can improve this. How will I improve this? These are the choices I can make. So for me, it's building and rebuilding everything. You can rebuild the process, make it more sufficient. But for my home, it's a bit the same. The isolation, what kind of technologies do I want to use for solar energy, for example? There are also differences in between. I want solar panels, but what kind of solar panels do I want? Because it improves all the rest of my home. And so it's for me, it's everything is the same.
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
Lego, building blocks, just
Yeah.
connect the dots and get everything together.
Yeah.
I like this.
But didn't expect the
Can
answer.
you do your home renovation in 6 days?
No.
Oh, okay.
I can paint I can paint in 6 days. I actually
if you
painted.
make it in smaller building blocks, then you can
So
do it in a
there's
few days.
similarities and there's differences.
Of course.
yeah, there is.
You should start a live
But
podcast.
also in home renovation, you have to start thinking about how will I start? What is the start of everything? And how this is my end goal. What is the process in between?
Mm-hmm.
I have had old wallpaper. I have to strip it off. I have to make my walls clean. Then I have to paint it primer and then the paint, the color that I want. So it's still the process. Yeah, but I can't automate this one. It
So
would have been easy.
expected outcomes, the
Painting
process
bot.
to get
Expected
there.
outcomes, exactly. And
The
then
process to
how
get there
will I
and
move to that
automating it.
point?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jana, for all your insights, also on home improvement. Is there anything left that you want to share with our listeners?
No idea.
That they can follow you on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, of course.
And on the
Instagram.
SAP community. I
SAP
really
community,
recommend
of
that.
course.
You're a
Yeah.
blogger on the SAP community as well, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that you are very keen on answering questions they have there.
Yeah.
So that's a
I
possibility
always
to
try
get in touch as well.
make some time to answer some questions.
But that's nice, because you learn something and then you share, and that's
Yeah.
really valuable. And
Yeah.
that's also mentioned. That the product management teams saw that, and they asked you to join a customer meeting, because you can share it from live from the trenches.
Yeah.
So this is what happens if you want to migrate your project.
Yeah.
And these
I've been
are
on
the lessons
on
learned.
the Zoom meetings with Emanuele, etc. for the migration part, for example. I think they already spoke about IRPA migration to SBPA, for example. And there are a lot of things coming up also.
And you were invited to Paris.
I was invited to Paris. That was also very nice, getting to know the team. And now I have some meetings with the SAP Build Process product team.
Yeah.
I have some, for example, some interviews. What's your feedback on this new feature? How can we improve this? So they actually really listen. That's also
but that's
very
the nice
nice.
thing.
That's very
So
nice.
being SAP and being a more open company, and
Yeah.
that they listen to you as the expert from the field, and then take it into account for product development. That's nice.
That was really nice to just give feedback. It's honest feedback. It's sometimes struggling. That's normal. But they actually really use and listen to the feedback that I gave and try to get it into place.
All right.
There was even this little voice that I heard that said that we should record this HANA Café podcast in English, specifically for that reason.
To share.
Yeah.
So that more people can learn about process
Yeah.
automation and automation and the value that you can achieve for that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Jana.
Yes,
Thanks
was
so much.
happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Jan.
Thanks, Van.
Yeah.
Dankjewel voor het luisteren naar deze aflevering van HANA Café Nederland. Heb je feedback voor ons? Laat het dan zeker weten. Wil je ook een keer aanschuiven in het café? Stuur ons een berichtje en geef gelijk aan waar je het over wilt hebben. Tot de volgende keer!
Tot de volgende.
Tot de volgende keer. We deden het goed.